It is the 18th of August 2023. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango and this is News Tonight. Straight away into the bulletin. His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has challenged the youth to be disciplined and positively minded if they are to succeed in life and also build a better Uganda. Museveni has been this evening addressing the country during this year's Youth Day celebrations in Kampala district.
The first thing you must ensure is discipline. Discipline for yourself to protect your life from the dangers of youth. Part of the problem is that the youth, some of the youth get wrong ideology of sectarianism, of religion, of tribes, of working for foreign interests. If you take that line, you will fail. Because I have been watching all these years. If you look at those three, I can assure you will go far. After that, you should ensure to lead a productive life, to be in productivity. Don't lead a life of parasitism, of depending on others. Be sure that you can do something. And we have told you, the sectors here in Uganda are 4, and they are all there. So therefore, we should have a population of wealth creators. This is very crucial for you to understand, because you can have a population of leisure seekers.
Place the shield, the back cloth, which they say in Ruchiga is called a kishato. I hope I have pronounced it well. The spear in African culture is to go and hunt. You can see. Are you seeing? Are you people seeing? Are you seeing? Youth, where are you?
Well, our reporter Robert Onyango is right now in Kampala and has shared with us an update. Let's hear more.
Every 12th day of August, Uganda joins the world to commemorate the youth in what is known as Youth Day. In Uganda, this year's celebrations have been commemorated on 18th August 2023 in Kampala district.
Must move to middle-income status. Youth are the engine. To drive us to that status. Right at that position.
Hosted at Kigezi High School Primary Playgrounds in Kampala district, the events were presided over by the head of state, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. On the day's program was the inspection of exhibitors' tents by the head of state. Under the theme, Accelerating Recovery from COVID-19 and Full Implementation of the 2030 Agenda, the role of the youth, the day recommits the youth towards championing development.
Your Excellency, in every country's development, we believe that the most productive labor force is the energetic, but not just energetic, ideologically consistent labor force. And in that regard, Your Excellency, we need to appreciate you for some of the things that have been started. Number one, you met the leadership of the district youth councils yesterday at State House. And I want to thank you for the historic meeting.
In order to realize fully the vision of an integrated, independent, and self-sustaining economy, we should all of us focus on four-dimensional strategic areas, moving our households from subsistence to money economy, adding value to everything that we are producing, developing a strong civil service society, and developing a knowledge-based economy.
Day and every day, let us support and stand with young people to make their own choices about their lives and in shaping a just and sustainable world for people and planet.
The celebrations was an opportunity for the youth to front out their outcries to the president, especially regarding youth-centered programs.
We believe that strong emphasis must be given to working on national efforts to achieve our nationally determined agreements on climate issues. And I think we are going to be there with you, Excellency. We thank you.
For the Minister in charge of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi, this was her message.
We are now focusing under the NDP 3 and the new program for NDP 4 in ensuring that we look at the program that will address youth who are unemployed, youth who are not in school, and if you look at youth who are not in school, and youth who are not in employment, and youth who are not in training, they will constitute the majority of the youth.
In his address to the nation, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni began.
Who are not handling you as politicians, who should be handling you as parents? Because what I'm telling you is what I tell my grandchildren now, the ones who are with me in the house. That's what I tell them. First thing is discipline. You must reject.
Mr. Museveni was also quick to castigate the youth for towing the wrong path of ideologies. Museveni also gives it to the youth that living a productive life is better than a begging one.
You should ensure to lead a productive life, to be in productivity. Don't lead a life of parasitism, of depending on others. Be sure that you can do something, and we have told you.
For innovators, Mr. Museveni notes that for they have a bright future.
I see Dr. Warimus is working on that. There are jobs known as BPOs, business processes outsourcing, where you can be here as an accountant in Kabale and you help somebody in Canada check his accounts books and you send the work on the internet and you are paid here.
During the same event, the President witnessed the launch of the UN joint program and that of the roadmap for the celebration of 30 years of existence of Uganda Youth Council.
What I was talking about, issues to do with
The event was graced by, among others, a section of ministers, religious leaders, politicians, technocrats, and members of the general public. I'm Robert Onyango for UBC News in Kabale District.
Thank you very much there, Robert Onyango. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni yesterday on the 17th of August 2023 met a delegation from Starbucks International led by the Executive Director, Mr. Jack Chebet, at State House in Entebbe. Starbucks International is one of the dynamic and progressive entities redefining the landscape of fuel and gas industry in Uganda and the larger in Africa, with an unwavering commitment to innovation and marketing sustainability. Apart from the oil and gas sector, President Museveni and Starbucks International officials discussed other possible areas of investment in the country. President Museveni rallied the company to invest in the manufacturing processing sector so that they are able to add value to Uganda's raw materials
the wananchi are the outgrowers. So we may give you some, if once you have, like if you want to be involved in the dairy processing,
yes,
then we can try to get some land, some for the core demonstration farm for you.
yes.
That one we can struggle with to get your land so that you are in the area of the cows. Much of the milk is from the outgrowers, but for you are nucleus farm. They call it a nucleus farm.
Yes.
Your nucleus farm is to show how to grow, how to do this, how to maybe even distribute. You can go and talk to. Do you know Murwana?
Yes.
Murwana. You may not know him, but you can go and talk to Barbara Murwana. Once we are sure that there is enough source of gas, that we are not going to cause a political crisis by stopping their firewood when there is no reliable, affordable gas, then we shall stop. It's very easy, it's simple.
Your Excellency, Starbucks International is a Pan-African company whose regional headquarters is in Nairobi, Kenya. But we are thinking as soon as we are able to produce our oil at Oima, our headquarters might move here so that we are able to distribute to the larger East Africa and Central Africa from here. But currently we are in Nairobi because most of the products are coming from outside. We've currently, last year we did 210 billion Uganda shillings. And we expect 350 billion Uganda shillings this year in terms of our contribution to the tax in Uganda. We currently employ directly and indirectly over 10,000 people in Uganda, citizens of this country. And progressively we expect to add to 15,000 by end of this year with the investments that we have planned. Though we also have a few challenges here and there as we do business, Your Excellency. One is sometimes there are challenges with compliance and regulatory bureaucracies, especially on approvals of plans. NEMA bodies like National Environmental Authority, sometimes they are very slow in giving us approvals. Their processes are a bit bureaucratic, so if something can be done, Your Excellency, we shall really appreciate to fasten. So if we can be given industrial land to do production, then the cost will be lower, and we shall also create employment in some parts of this country, and even the cost will be lower. So, so if we can get some space in one of the industrial parks to do this plan, we shall really appreciate. And also in preparation of when our oil in this country will be ready, we want to do a blending plan for lubricants. You know, our motorcycles are using a lot of lubricants currently, and if we can produce in this country as soon as the refinery is up and running, it will really help to save a lot of foreign exchange.
Now, Patrick Ayota, the acting managing director of National Social Security Fund, NSSF, has been fully appointed as the managing director of the fund. Ayota, who has served for 8 months as the fund's acting managing director, has been appointed today by Betty Amongi, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Now, leaders from the Great Lakes region are presently convening in Kinshasa, engaging with stakeholders to explore and establish effective mechanisms of resolving conflicts within the Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's hear more from Ivan Kahwa.
The Forum of Parliaments of Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region remains committed to finding solutions to conflicts in Eastern DRC. A series of meetings have been conducted involving key stakeholders, including the President of Angola and Chairperson of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region, as well as the facilitator of the Luanda Roadmap, along with Felix Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The meeting with President Tshisekedi was held in Kinshasa with the objective of securing a substantial parliamentary contribution to the implementation of the Pact on Security, Stability and Development in the Great Lakes region, which was signed in Nairobi in December 2006.
He further emphasized that as far as DRC is concerned, they are committed to dialogue to make sure that they find peaceful resolution to these efforts. And they try to explore all avenues through dialogue to make sure that this problem is resolved. But of course, if dialogue fails, then it says, well, they may resort to other means to which can only be resorted to as a last resort. But emphasize the need for dialogue, and that's very important.
The Committee on Peace and Security is actively assessing potential causes of conflicts in the Great Lakes region to establish factual information and develop proposals for peaceful conflict resolution. The forum plans to meet with Rwanda's President Paul Kagame to effectively address conflicts between Rwanda and DRC. Further discussions are planned with President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and Uhuru Kenyatta, the East African Community Mechanism Facilitator, who is actively mediating conflicts within Eastern DRC. Notably, the current chairperson of the East African Community, Burundi's President Evariste Ndayishimiye, will also be part of these discussions.
We interacted with the East African Community Regional Force. They also explained to us their mandate. And as far as they are concerned now, their mandate is to make sure that they create an atmosphere that will enable dialogue to take place. Whereas to the people who have been suffering because of this conflict for a very long time, their thinking was that immediately these forces came in, then they would engage the M23, which is not their mandate.
While the conflict involving DRC is being addressed through the East African Community Arrangement, the Rwanda-DRC conflict is being managed under the Luanda Roadmap, guided by the President of Angola. Upon the conclusion of these consultations, the Parliamentary Forum is poised to develop actionable proposals that will significantly contribute to effective conflict resolution. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
The Commander Land Forces, Lieutenant General Kayanja Mahanga, has applauded the people of Eastern DRC for their support in rendering to the joint forces of UPDF and FARDC in the struggle to eliminate the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF. General Mahanga, in company of Major General D. Kolum, the overall commander of the Operation Shujaa, and FARDC senior operational commanders, are traversing operation sectors to boost morale for the joint forces.
As the joint operation against the Allied Democratic Forces ADF marks the 20th month, serious dimensions are emerging from the jungles of Democratic Republic of Congo. At the front line, the joint military operation between the UPDF and FARDC remains on course with significant achievements.
Tunaanza kusingia si wazee, tulikuwa kanaanguka kukimbia na ubili busiko, ndani ya vipotopoto utaanguka na muziko, basi Mungu ndio atakutosa pale.
Kwetu kama raia shifiria watalinga ni kushukuru kwanza. Sasa wakati amani inakuwa, tunakuwa mambo ya maendeleo.
UPDF commanders leading these operations in Eastern DRC are committed to the restoration of peace once and for all.
Pagia hao washenzi tukawaondoa kwa kambi zao hizi zote za Lose, tukawaondoa kwa kambi ya Yua, Tondoli, Abia, mpaka tukavuka barabara ambayo inatoka Uganda ile inakuja Mboga.
Makosa yamefanyika, msisirika ati wanajeshi wanatuangamiza. Mtuambie tu. Tutajua namna ya kuhandle, tutajua namna ya kuteketeza, ya kutatiza. Tunaelewana? Mmesikia vizuri?
Losing at a very, very fast rate. They are losing weapons and many other things. They cannot now loot civilian foods because all those areas have been occupied. There is our presence. So the enemy is really on the decline in eastern DRC. The remnants, we shall be there tomorrow, have crossed Eringeti Commander Road, moving towards Mombasa. Those remnants, including Musa Baluku, we know where they are. We shall follow them. Like I said before, when this operation started, we are going to follow this, the ADF everywhere they will go until when we degrade their capacity to make war.
Without specifying a deadline set for this operation, Operation Shujaa Commander Major General D. Kolum, however, clarifies the mission's priority of eradicating ADF rebels in order to allow the return of peace and commercial activities in northeastern part of DRC.
We have destroyed a lot of the ADF capacity to make war, ADF capacity to destroy, and ADF capacity to abduct. We have really annihilated them. We have followed them from the areas of Tokomeka, the areas in Ituri, areas of Chabi, Boga, Zunguluka. We also had the first encounters with them in those areas of Maimoto, in those areas of where the first operations began.
Deka inaleta usalama kwa hii eneo tuko leo, na adui anaenda mbali na kwenye tuko, na hivi wakaaji wote wenye walikimbia nusu walisharudia mfikao yao.
In different battles in areas of Mkakati, Kalembo, Mwalika, Chabi and Tokomeka, the joint forces recovered a number of weapons and minimized ADF attacks against innocent civilians. Haruna Mtesa Sira, UBC News.
And indeed, that's Operation Shujaa in progress. Now, former LRA abductees in Teso and Langwa sub-regions are living in fear following the former Lord Resistance Army rebels moving to trace the whereabouts of their children for reunion. It is said that the former LRA fighters are silently tracing their roots of their children produced with these survivors, that they used their particulars revealed to them by their mothers while in captivity.
When they were coming here, they were telling us some of the words. You think we were once not students? We were once students like you. We were abducted from where? From Aboke. So we are students. We are not here to baby you.
On 24th of June 2003, over 180 girls were abducted by the LRA rebels at Luala Girls Senior Secondary School in Kabramaido district, leaving the school deserted to date.
Population of the girls at the time of abduction, I'm told, there were about 600 students. But since then, we have never hit the mark of even 200.
Since that incident, the lives of the girls who were abducted from this school have never remained the same, as they were subjected to physical and psychological torture.
Some of them came back with broken limbs. Some of them came with diseases which cannot allow them to do heavy jobs. So they are here.
I don't know whether it started a charm from there and led to, I suffered all that here up to 2007. That's the time they abducted their leg.
Some of the girls were raped in captivity, leading to the birth of at least 80 fatherless children that have been rejected in the communities.
Our own parents have rejected those children. So these girls are staying in town, in those slums, trying to catch up with life so that they can take care of these children.
They are discriminated, they are not loved, they are not, like, they are living a hard life.
The mothers now feel insecure over the former LRA fighters' move to trace the whereabouts of their children for reunion.
And these rebels know these mothers by their names and where they came from. Since while we're in captivity, they would ask questions and find out where you're coming from. Now a rebel will have it, make you pregnant and know, okay, this is the mother of my child. Why wouldn't you follow up?
They are now seeking for government support in upbringing of these children and a seed capital for their livelihoods.
We have written letters to the president for the past 10 years, and the president, we've never gotten reply from the president. Through our minister, I know now you are up there. For the favors we are going to get will probably come through you.
While receiving their petition, Minister of State for Test Affairs Dr. Kenneth Ongalo Obote committed his promise to forward their appeal to the relevant authorities.
So I am going to take it up with our security people and let them know. Because what that tells us is that some of these people are back and living with us quietly in our communities. If they can follow these girls and begin requesting, demanding for their kids, then we are not totally safe.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda's oil and gas activities are undertaken in line with the updated environment legislation and benchmarked on international best practice standards in order to continuously ensure coexistence between the oil activities and Uganda's rich biodiversity. Following the award of the Environment and Social Impact Assessment certificates for the Kingfisher, Tilenga and East African crude oil pipeline projects, various environmental and social management plans have also been developed to ensure sustainable development of the projects. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is working with other regulatory bodies to monitor all oil and gas activities to enhance compliance and environment protection during oil activities. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and get a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
Sebo.
Yes?
This is the bill.
What?
Malaria testing, 10,000. Treatment, 100,000 since we put on drip.
Hey, Musao, can you read this for me? Before I brought my wife here, I'd already spent money on buying herbal medicine and drugs from the pharmacy, which didn't work.
But Sebo, the government gave out mosquito nets. Doesn't your family use them?
We got the mosquito nets, but they got holes and we didn't know what to do.
Protect your loved ones from malaria. Store your mosquito nets whenever they get damaged to keep the mosquitoes away. Ensure all nets are tied up every morning to avoid damaging them. Ensure that everyone in your family sleeps under a treated mosquito net every night, whether it is a cold or hot season. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too! Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Well, we apologize for the previous technical problem, but it's now sorted. Now we move on with News Tonight, where we begin off with the IGG meeting engineers. Now, Inspector General of Government Betty Kamya has called for a strategic partnership with the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers to combat corruption in the country. Speaking at the conference, Mrs. Kamya unveiled a comprehensive strategy aimed at transforming the mindset of Ugandans and engaging them actively in the fight against corruption.
Corruption in the engineering department has caused a lot of projects to stall, with some buildings collapsing and killing people. This has been attributed to failure to use enough construction materials. Speaking with the members of the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers, IGG Kamya highlighted that despite ordinary Ugandans contributing through taxes, many essential services such as healthcare, education and infrastructure are not effectively delivered due to corruption.
That many contracts are awarded through corruption to less deserving engineers or companies, and we end up with poor roads, with collapsing buildings and dams, with fires in buildings, with accidents on the roads due to bad vehicles, poor roads. Through corruption, we also recruit incompetent workers with fake NASA certificates, and those are the main cause of these things that we are talking about.
Kamya emphasized that the victims of corruption are often not actively involved in the fight against it, which needs to change.
The engineering section is a key player in perpetrating corruption in Uganda, both in the private and public sector. But I will confine myself to the public sector. Government works with engineers. As a matter of fact, in the 10 trillion shillings loss, the research that we made, number one, the streams of corruption, one of them is procurement through government contracts.
She further stressed that the public needs to recognize the signs of corruption and report suspicious activities.
That the Inspector of Government is here to seek partnerships with this institute and individual engineers. Please join the war against corruption. Your weapon, the only contribution is the information that you will share with us. First, it requires you as an individual, as a member of the company, of an organization, or an institution or an institute to stand up and say no.
The president of Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers, Andrew Muhwezi, reiterated the role of engineers in perpetrating corruption, especially in the procurement and construction sectors.
Would also be happy to liaise with your office if there are some short pieces of information you could share in this journal, which has actually wide readership. That is the part of our commitment.
The call for partnership between the Inspector General of Government and the Uganda Institute of Professional Engineers marks a significant step towards curbing corruption in the country. So that Kaye, UBC News.
And over to Karamoja, the relentless efforts of Pastor Solomon Mwesige of Good News Church, Bulenga, has made significant commitment to improving the welfare of the people in Karamoja. Pastor Solomon Mwesige has provided food to extend a lifeline to the most vulnerable, including women and children grappling with scarcity of sustenance and shelter in Karamoja's sub-region.
A beacon of hope has emerged in the form of Solomon Mwesige, a dedicated leader from the Good News Church in Bulenga.
Amakanda tukasimbye ekotido ngabolaba wakalu nnyo abantu bali bubi naye mwaka gumu kati tuleeta mmere naye ng'ovudde kubawa emmere twasalawo tubayambe okulima ne tubaleetera ensigo ez'omulembe omuwemba era batandise dda okukungula. So n'olwekyo tetwagala babeere mu kusabiriza nga balinda omuntu okubawa buli lunaku kiyinza obutasoboka naye tugezezzaako okukola kye tusobola. Twebaza abo abayimiridde naffe okubanga tukola ekikoleddwa.
Mwesige's commitment to improving the livelihood and welfare of the Karamojong has garnered both acknowledgement and admiration.
So when you look at these places, they don't have more bowls for drinking. Sometimes in a dry season, we used to open this sun. We open the sun and we pick water inside the sun, where we just also use for animals drinking and people also drinking.
Annette Namatovu, a concerned voice, underscores the gravity of the challenges faced by the people in Karamoja sub-region. She calls on compassionate people to extend a helping hand to those in dire need.
Apart from hunger, these people, in the issues of health, they are really suffering. First, they don't have good water. They use water from ponds, and these ponds, it's where cattle drink from, and they shower from those ponds, and at the same time fetch that water to go and cook food and drink. So health-wise, these people are really badly off. We have gone to Kotido Hospital where we found kids that are malnourished, not because they say that the nurse that we found there says that all rotates around hunger. That's the reason why most of them are malnourished.
Solomon Mwesige and his dedicated team have rolled up their sleeves, determined to bring relief even in the face of such adversity.
So I'm a mother of 9 children, and really when the hunger came, my husband could not get anything to support my children. He went for raiding to those of Dodoth Kabam, so he was killed. So by now I'm even failing to take many to school, to give food for those who are at home. So I'm just within, and most of them, they're even escaping to go to street because I'm unable to keep them.
Their efforts extend beyond food distribution, encompassing initiatives to improve water access and bolstering agricultural projects. Paul Loti, a leader with the local district, applauded Solomon Mwesige's selfless actions, urging the wider community to lend a helping hand in the fight against suffering in the Karamoja sub-region. So that Kaye, UBC News.
Now, management of Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, has met consultants from Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, to discuss the Integrated Urban Development Master Plan for the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area. Politicians from the division of Kampala are, however, dissatisfied by the presentation of his master plan by JICA to revamp Kampala's infrastructure.
Is it still possible to plan for Kampala and turn it around and become a modern capital city? Or we forget about it and build a new city?
Kampala is still grappling with challenges of poor physical planning, the state of roads and poor drainage system, among others. In lieu of this, Kampala Capital City Management has held a politicians' consultative meeting with a delegation from Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, to discuss the Integrated Urban Development Master Plan for Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, with the mandate to harmonize ways of revamping Kampala's infrastructure. Kampala City Mayor Erias Lukwago, however, says over the years, Kampala has had no serious plan and is hopeful JICA will be different from other consultants.
2010-2011, creating the Kampala Metropolitan Physical Planning Authority with a mandate to draft a structural plan for this particular planning area, Kampala, the metropolitan. Unfortunately, that body again failed in its duty. It was never put in place, it was never funded, and it never took off. Actually, it suffered a stillbirth. Are you ready to do miracles to turn around the Kampala into a functional city?
Nakawa Division Mayor Paul Mugambe interprets the proposed plan as being so emergent to addressing the current challenges of Kampala than planning for its future.
What we are saying, that if we are to have a good plan, it should be some years ahead, maybe 15. Now would be maybe talking of a plan of 2030 or 20 something to 2050, so that we put the plan, we agree on the plan, then we start planning even for the plan on how we are going to implement it. But this is firefighting, and this is what has caused problems for the other plans. You know, having very short-term plans, addressing very short-term problems.
Politicians from Kampala Division want the consultants' stakeholders to be brought on board to discuss and plan together, since they are planning for Kampala Metropolitan instead of meeting only Kampala's leaders, which may affect the planning process.
We have had a series of meetings, workshops, trainings, and the consultants. We had a project of World Bank and the rest talking about planning. But what fails us to implement those reports or to come up with a physical planning, a plan for the city? It's politics.
The president recently came out and said we are going to cancel all the titles on which factories have been built. Nothing has been done. Those Bensons have been taken over by the so-called investors, and we are losing a lot of money. So I call upon us to make sure that we do better planning.
The goal of JICA project is to realize management of urban development for Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, as well as contribute to the promotion of sustainable urban development in the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area. Justin Nakami, UBC.
Now, the War Child Holland organization has handed over the Can't Wait to Learn program to the Ministry of Education and Sports for sustainability. This education technology learning approach has been piloted in 16 schools in Isingiro district. The Minister of State for National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyang, committed to integrate this technological advancement into the national ICT program.
War Child Holland pilot project Can't Wait to Learn program is a digital approach to improve literacy and numeracy skills among children in lower primary living in disadvantaged societies, especially refugee host communities.
It showed that the program is an effective program and that it accelerates learning, which means that it can help make progress towards the Sustainable Development Goal 4 and to building and strengthening children's foundational skills in education.
The initiative targets to bridge the education gap through technology, reason why Your Child Holland wants government to leverage on this established foundation to sustain this learning technological approach.
Let's say the games are available, it is contextualized, and the evidence is available. So now what we need is, if it has to go to the scale, then government has to come into the picture. And we are working closely with Ministry of Education to discuss ways how we can scale it up and how other donors adopt it, how other partners adopt it.
Education Ministry commits to assess the impact of this digital learning innovation for integration arrangement into the national education structure.
That's why can't wait to learn is therefore a timely solution. Digital innovation in education, including e-learning, is no longer an option. It's a must. The Ministry of Education and Sports is working towards integrating the can't wait to learn approach into the national education system. Like we said, it's not just a given, but it is a must that we must have it in our system.
The National Developed ICT Innovation Agenda. Digital learning is prioritized to match the dynamisms in the education sector without leaving anyone behind.
Agenda, education digital agenda, how we are going to improve the use of ICTs in all schools. And one thing in that roadmap, we are going to network the whole country, because now we have the money.
Teachers testify the simplicity of this arrangement in the training exercise, especially in literacy and numeracy disciplines.
Now we target P3, a child is able to revise the work of P1, P2, then to P3, up to even to P4.
How we are empowered to help the children learn through using the tablet. See, having few facilities, but I think if it would expand to other classes, it would be so wonderful.
This is a self-guided initiative with gaming format, access on tablets that takes children through Ministry of Education's developed curriculum, providing opportunity for children to work towards primary level certification. Abdul Nasser Lubama for UBC.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say. Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles? So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21# or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
The Entebbe Acholi Development Association would like to invite all members of the Entebbe community for the association's official launch, which will be held on 19th August 2023 at the Fisheries Training Institute in Bugonga, starting at 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There will be lots of activities such as exhibitions, cultural dances and speeches from extinguished guests. Come all and celebrate together with us. There is unity in strength. We eagerly anticipate your presence and enthusiasm on this special day. Let's make this event a memorable one. Warm regards from Achayo Consolata, the chairperson in Entebbe Acholi Development Association.
And on to our business desk. Government and joint venture partners in the oil and gas sector partnering to scale the youth. The capacity of Ugandans in terms of skills has been identified as a stumbling block to maximization of local content. Let's hear more in this report.
This event at Sunmaker in Kampala's industrial area is in line with the government's vision and aspirations of having a skilled and competent workforce in the oil and gas sector.
See, when you are a skilled welder, even if the work is not with you or with anybody else, there are garages all over the country which need your skills. You cannot really stay without a job. But for us Ugandans, sometimes we used to think these skills were not necessary. And I think you have known that they are very, very necessary. You can weld until you die.
Studies show that the sector suffers substantial skills gaps, hence the policy intervention to prioritize capacity building at all skills levels, including vocational level, which is the most targeted.
As an international oil company, Sino Oil Limited is committed fulfilling international best practices and is keen interest in corporate social responsibility programs.
It is estimated that Uganda will need at least 4,000 specialized welders at the peak of the pipeline construction project in mid of 2024.
Where we are today, we've not even trained half of those. So I encourage SINOC to continue investment in training of welders, scaffolders, and all the different types of technicians, because the industry still needs these people. It's going to be very unfortunate if we ferry in welders.
The capacity of Ugandans in terms of skills has been identified as a stumbling block to maximization of local content. Currently, Uganda's participation in the sector is a dismal 28%. Dennis Igor for UBC Business.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*0#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel. A reason to imagine.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
And into the world of sports, and as we talk about boxing in particular, now weighing in ahead of tomorrow's Africa Boxing Union contests between Uganda and the foreign pugilists at the MTN Arena, Lugogo has finally been met. Our reporter John Barnes Sentimo has got more.
In Lugogo will on Saturday witness boxing action when 3 Uganda professional boxers seek Africa Boxing Union titles. Uganda's only ever female Olympics boxer Catherine Nanziri is up against Tanzania's Eugene Kayange for the vacant Africa Boxing Union bantamweight title. The two have weighed in, and Nanziri has promised to make her 5th fight in the professional ranks a memorable one for Ugandans.
This ABU title means a lot to me because it's one of the steps I'm looking forward to becoming a world champion. And once I get the African belt, the ABU belt, I'll totally be ranked to the females who can go for a world title belt. And I'm looking forward to winning Kayange's points. And towards that, I'm looking to much more in my career right now.
Also in action will be another Olympian, Shadil Musabogi, who, for the Africa Boxing Union Super Middleweight title, faces Democratic Republic of Congo's Samuel Muloko.
I know that I'm going to win the fight, and I've been working hard for this opportunity, and I've been dreaming for these chances. Right now I'm in reality. I'll try hard to see that I make my dreams come true.
Stanley Mugerwa, the boxing Santa, will also be in action against Tanzanian Jacob Muganga for the Africa Boxing Union Eastern Central Middleweight title.
This belt means a lot to me because I've been preparing for it for 3 months. So I need to balance my shoulders. I'm one-sided, so I need to be balanced. So I need this belt to be balanced, not like talk like a lame person with one belt on one shoulder. So I need 2 belts for me to balance well. Let him be ready to sacrifice all he has because I'm coming for it tomorrow in the fight.
The day's fight card has 14 bouts, including Kamada Antege, aka Surefire's death, against Basti Abdu Mutiaba, the teacher. John Barnes, Sentamo, UBC News.
And that does bring us to the end of our bulletin. We will meet again at 10 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Stay with us.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Entebbe Acholi Development Association would like to invite all members of the Entebbe community for the association's official launch, which will be held on 19th August 2023 at the Fisheries Training Institute in Bugonga, starting at